The disease struck the population of Yucatan in 1571. One man discovered a plant, and he and other individuals drank it. The chemical turned the subjects blue and rendered them airless. They swiftly relocated to the ocean, where they founded the Talocan civilization in the deep ocean. Kukulkan was born to one of the ladies who consumed the plant. The infant went on to become Talocan's king. Fen requested to be buried on the land when she passed away. In order to reach the area where he spotted a civilization, Kukulkan led some guards up. In order to make way for his mother's burial, they attacked civilization. He was known as Namor by one of the locals, which is Arabic for the boy without affection. Shuri is slaving away in her lab, attempting valiantly to produce an artificial heart-shaped herb to be used for her brother and the ailing king of Wakanda, T'Challa. Ramonda announces the death of the king as she enters the lab gently. Wakanda is still having issues with other countries desiring its vibranium a year later. The Dormelage apprehend French soldiers who attempt to break into their position. Afterwards, Ramonda discusses the French heist with the UN and makes the information public. She reminds the nations that they will continue to battle even without the Black Panther. At a mining outpost, Americans mine for vibranium in the water using equipment developed by Riri Williams, an MIT student. This is how they locate vibranium in the sea. They are suddenly attacked by Talacanos who are angry that they are stealing their vibranium. Namor attacks the last survivor helicopter and destroys it. Ramonda and Shuri in Wakanda visit the sea to lament the passing of T'Challa 1 year earlier. Shuri is not entirely prepared for this, so they burn their burial robes to symbolize the end of the period of grief. Then Namor shows up, crossing the boundary by swimming under the water. He informs them about Talocan's existence and asks for their assistance in preventing foreigners from obtaining vibranium. Shuri and Okoye visit Everett Ross, who provides them with the young scientist's name and whereabouts despite possibly disclosing sensitive information. So, in order to locate Williams, Okoye and Shuri travel to Cambridge, Massachusetts. When they pursue her to her garage, she reveals that she is creating an Iron Man-style suit of armor. Nonetheless, the FBI is keeping an eye on them. Williams escapes wearing her armor, Okoye escapes in a car, and Shuri escapes on a motorcycle. They unexpectedly run into Talacanos, Atuma, and Namora. After a brief battle, Williams and Shuri are taken prisoner. Ross visits the location the following day and meets with Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, his ex-wife. Also, he locates and conceals Kimoyo beads. In Wakanda, an enraged Queen Ramonda removes Okoye from her post as general and chastises her for losing Shuri, which is made worse by prior events like the time she appeared to support Killmonger when he took the throne. In Talocan, Shuri and Williams awaken. Namor demonstrates the culture to Shuri while attempting to persuade her of his beliefs and even gives her his mother's bracelet. She doesn't agree with killing Williams, though. Ramonda, who had left Wakanda 6 years earlier, travels to Haiti to visit Nakia. She requests Nakia to locate Shuri on her behalf. Nakia conducts some reconnaissance and ascertains. As they return to Wakanda, Namor and his army invade, causing additional suffering. They flood the city, sparking all-out conflict. Before flooding the throne room where Ramonda and Williams are being held, Namor takes care of all the Wakandan vehicles. Ramonda swims to save Williams as she begins to drown. She succeeds in rescuing Williams, but only at the cost of her own drowning. As Namor informs Shuri that she is now queen, she laments the death of her mother. Then he and his group depart the nation. When Allegra de Fontaine learns that Ross has been speaking with Wakanda all along, she has him detained. After the burial, M'Baku speaks with Shuri and advises her morally not to kill Namor. After that, he promises to house any displaced Wakandans as a result of the attack. Shuri then fashions the fake heart-shaped herb, which ultimately succeeds, using Namor's mother's bracelet. After taking it, she enters the astral plane where Eric Killmonger welcomes her and asserts that they are identical. After some debate, Shuri declares she will kill Namor as retaliation. Shuri gets out of bed and puts on a suit. She then enters as the Black Panther into a conference between M'Baku and the Elders. As they get ready for the fight, Shuri and Williams realize they may weaken Namor by heating up his body to the point where it can no longer receive oxygen. Then another Ironheart armor is created. Okoye receives new armor from Shuri dubbed the Midnight Angels that functions quite similarly to Iron Man's as well. Annika is chosen by Okoye to join her two-woman team. They utilize a boat to entice the Talacanos into a trap offshore. As Namor appears to have the upper hand, the battle starts. But as they flee the conflict, Black Panther captures him in a Royal Talon fighter. The Jabari tribe, Nakia, and the others fight the ones while the Dora Milaje combat the Talakannals on the side of the ship. Black Panther heats up the Royal Talon fighter, which renders Namor more vulnerable, but he still manages to launch his spear. The entire ship explodes as Black Panther fires a blast from her vibranium gauntlets, dropping the two foes into the island below. After additional fighting, Namor finally impales Shuri. However, he is more concerned with reaching the water before he passes away than with killing her. A hurt Black Panther escapes and advances on the limping Namor. She then shouts Wakanda forever as she puts on her armor and attacks Namor with a blast from the exploding Talon fighter. As he falls, he is set on fire. She approaches him to kill him but stops herself when she thinks of her brother, T'Challa. Considering these memories, Namor thanks the Black Panther and follows her back to the fight scene where they order everyone to cease fighting. Wakanda forever is then shouted once more by Black Panther as the others echo him. Williams doesn't bring her armor back to MIT afterwards since the Wakandans do not want any controversy if they allow her to keep it. Instead of contending for the throne, which is ultimately challenged by M'Baku, Shuri departs for Haiti. Later, when Atuma welcomes him, Namor paints in his room. She is reassured by Namor that their new partnership with Wakanda would be advantageous. Okoye liberates Ross while he is being transported to jail. Shuri travels to Haiti and sees Nakia before heading to the beach to burn her traditional funeral robe in accordance with Ramonda's instructions. This action gives Shuri the chance to finally grieve T'Challa.